I answer whatever I can.
Well, they're kind of focusing also more on your childhood too, so yesterday you didn't talk a lot about the part in Egypt, so they'd probably talk more about that part maybe.
Hi, what was Egypt like?
Well, Egypt, when I was young, it was nice at the beach. I was in Alexandria. I used to go for a swim before going to school in the morning, which is unusual, but I just liked it. I used to go with my father. And we had a zoo, and it was very civilized. I didn't know Cairo, I just went to in Alexandria. Went once or twice to Cairo.
How was life different from Egypt from Brazil?
It was different because first, the people, the population is different. Brazil was different language, it was different background. Brazilian people, have different customs. It's a Catholic country, and Egypt is a Muslim country, and we have different ways, different food, different customs. Brazil is very lush and very colorful.
When did you move to Brazil?
In 57.
What kind of food did you eat in Egypt and in Brazil?
Egypt, we had the staple food was beans. It's called ful. It's a bit like Israeli food, if you know Israeli food. They had molokhia, which was a soup that people thought it was horse food. It was green and very slimy. This was one of the staples food as well. They had Arab bread. They used to make it. The peasants used to make Arab bread on the oven on the floor. And we had a goat coming every morning to give us milk. And there was a milk person who making it in a big bucket of steel, a pewter bucket or whatever. We used to have fresh milk every morning. It's a bit primitive, but that's how it was. Yeah.
What about the food in Brazil?
In Brazil, it was a lot of rice, a lot of meat, beef. In Egypt as well, we had beef and we had fish, a lot of fish, because Alexandria is a port, so we had a lot of fish, a lot of barbecued fish. And in Brazil, it was a staple food, these black beans like you had yesterday, and rice, and fish, and a lot of tropical fruit, which were very nice, very delicious. Mangoes, there are about 50 varieties of mangoes.
What kind of food did you eat on holidays in Egypt?
Jewish holidays?
Yeah.
Well, we had Jewish food. We had, Egyptian food, kosher. There was shochet, killed the animals. And it was a family gathering, like everywhere. The tradition kept going wherever you are.
Did your parents grow up in Egypt, or did they move from
My
somewhere
parents
else?
grew up in Egypt. I'm third generation there.
Okay.
My grandparents were different, because my grandfather on my father's side was from Turkey, Izmir, and his mother was French. And on my mother's side, her father was Iraqi Indian. They moved from Iraq to India, and her mother, I believe, was Moroccan. So it was very Sephardi, even though I got red hair. Very Sephardi. So the mix, the food was different. At home we had couscous, which is Moroccan. We had a bit of Spanish food from my grandfather. My father's, a lot of stuffed vegetables and quite a variety.
What was it like being Jewish in Egypt and Brazil?
In Egypt, only of late, only before I left did I feel it, when I, 56, 57, because of the wars and, They were throwing stone at us and not talking to us. And actually, they were calling me English rather than Jewish because of my red hair and freckles. And it was bad. A lot of people were in jail. They hung a few people even there because they called them Zionists. There was a brother, Muslim Brotherhood, that were, in Cairo mainly. It was bad for the Jews, that's why we had to leave. Yeah. In Brazil, they were more lenient, I didn't feel it. Brazilian people are very open, very kind, very welcoming. We never felt anything there.
How was your relationship with your parents? Like, did you have a good relationship?
Very nice, yes. I miss them. Yes, we're very close in family. My mother died very young. She was only 42, so I was pretty young too.
Did you have any pets in your house?
Yes, I've always had dogs. I love animals. I had a dog called Lassie. And in Brazil we had dogs, and cats, and birds. It was like a zoo at home. Yes.
What kind of toys did you play with?
Well, in Egypt, we didn't have television, we didn't have games, we didn't have computers. So we used to play marbles, we used to play chess. I used to play cowboy Indian, me. And we used to have, what do you call the squares that you jump?
Hopscotch?
And put a stone,
Yeah.
yes. And skipping rope, and that was the games we had. And we were very happy with that. In Brazil as well, when I arrived there, we didn't have a television. We used to sit in the street watching television from the window, couldn't afford one. In Brazil, I didn't have time, more or less the same. It was still, didn't play much there when I was young because I had to go to school and to learn and to look after my brother and sister.
What's it like to be in America when you have been in Brazil and Egypt?
About that?
Like, how do you appreciate your freedom compared to Egypt and Brazil?
I was very free in both places because I was young. I didn't feel restrictions. And of course now when I look back, yes, now they are restricted there. But no, I'll always fight for my freedom wherever I am.
And you live in England today,
I
right?
live in England, which, yes.
So are you worried about some of the events that have been
I
happening in
am a
Europe?
bit worried, yes, because we have quite a lot of Muslims, imam and mosques, and I am a bit worried. I don't go that much now, a bit older. But I wouldn't walk in the street at night, And, some places, yes, I drive there, so I don't know what it is to walk, but I still wouldn't walk in the streets at night there. Only if I'm in town, but not if I live in the suburbs. I like it, it's free there, it's quite free, pretty free now, compared to other places, we're lucky.
Right.
What kind of education did you get growing up in Egypt?
I had a French education, I went to the French lycée, because we either went to French school or English schools. But I had to learn Arabic until I was 10, but I forgot it when I went to Brazil. And it was good French. I went to a Jewish school when I was little, and then I moved on to the secular school. Because we weren't very religious at home, we were secular.
What's your favorite holiday as a kid?
In Egypt. When I was in Egypt, I didn't go anywhere. We had the beach, we went to the beach, we rented a chalet in summer, and we spent 3 months on the beach there. With all the family used to come. We used to have like bungalows, and all the family were meeting there. So it was a very nice holiday.
I think they mean like, because British people say holiday, it means like what we say vacation.
Yeah.
So they're talking about like
Okay.
Jewish holidays
Oh, you could have
holidays.
Jewish holidays, you mean? Jewish holidays, we were always in with the family. The whole family used to go to my grandmother, and that's where the Bob was born. We used to have a big, big table with 20 people, and we always spent the holidays at my grandma.
Do you have any like, what's your best memory on a Jewish holiday?
My best memories were, it was gathering at Passover at my grandmother. That was best holiday because we all participated, and there was a lot of nice food. All the holidays we had lots of nice foods. My grandma loved nuts. My grandfather used to come and shake his pockets, and there was pistachio nuts in them, as I remember. And the day he didn't bring it for him. We had something in school which was very, very funny. It was black, and there was a black man with a white hat, very fat, like a very nice man. He used to sell this, and it was called Kakashinois. I won't translate it, Chinese cocoa. And we loved it. It was something that all the children that were in Alexandria know about it. If you mention it, everybody knows it, of my generation. Yeah, we used to go on the beach, and they roasted corn, roasted corn and peanuts on a little stove with some coal there. Like they do the chestnut, they used to do I can still smell it. When you grow up with food, I think, when you're older, what remains in your head is the smell of the food, and with the colors of everything, and that's what, you have to make the most of your youth now, and be close to your parents, it's very important.
So if you had advice for people now, what would it be?
About what?
Anything, like any advice?
For young people, they're saying, if you had to say, like for your own grandchildren.
My own grandchildren, I always tell them to be kind to people, to be considerate, and not to forget who they are and where they come from. You must never forget your origins. It's very important. Because if you don't know your past, you don't know your future. It's part of it. So it's very important to be always, remember who you are and where you're going. And be ambitious.
If you had to choose as a kid, like if your kid self was here, which one do you think you would like, Brazil or Egypt better?
At the moment, Brazil. I wouldn't go back to Egypt. I went back in '91, and it was a bit difficult for me because I had nobody left there at all, and only was left was memories, which it's sad because we went all over the place. My cousin went to 4 continents, so I miss the family. I miss the gathering with the family. Now it's just me in England, my son with me. My sister is in Brazil. My children are here and in New York and in Indianapolis. So I don't know. The advice I would give is try to keep with the family if you can. Because as you grow older, you miss them.
Do you have any regrets in your life, like you would go back and do differently?
Maybe I wouldn't leave home at 19. I would have stayed with my parents. Maybe life would have been different. I don't know. I'm happy now, but looking back, yes, because I miss my parents.
So did you get married at 19?
I got married at 19. And I went to England straight away.
Wow, so you left from Brazil to England then?
Yeah, so I didn't speak English well. I didn't speak English then.
Right.
I spoke Portuguese and French. Now I speak 6 languages because I travel a lot. I love traveling.
So maybe now you think, what was the hurry? Maybe you spent some more time with your parents, or, 'cause that
No,
would be a hard.
no, you see, you spend time with your parents, appreciate them, travel and come back. You have to explore a bit the world. You mustn't be like this close up. You have to have an open mind to everything. It's important in life because you never know what's around the corner. So you've got to have an open mind. This is important.
Right, and these kids will get a chance to go to Israel next year,
Yeah?
so.
Hopefully the situation will be good.
Right,
Yeah.
And if they're able to go, it's very nice. I've been there many times. Just you have to, be vigilant.
yeah,
The situation is good, lovely. Hopefully there'll be peace in the world.
right.
Hopefully.
And right, this year, I mean, you guys have a whole year, but the 8th graders only have a couple of months. Well,
Yeah,
it'll fly by.
they're going in a couple of months.
They're going in
164
May this year. Sometimes they go in
Oh.
April, but they're going in May.
See, Daniel's going.
164 days. Yeah, Daniel's going.
Yeah,
You can come and visit him there.
yeah. I might go. I might go. Yeah.
What is it like being married at 19?
I'm getting married 19. It's an experience. It's an experience. I had a choice between being an air hostess and traveling the world or getting married. And so my husband traveled, so I got married. And it's nice. It's nice because you have the children young and you become friends with your children. But nowadays, maybe I wouldn't do it. I did my university late in life. At 50, I went to university because I never did it before. I stopped my studies young, and I caught up after. So I did the BA when I was 50, and then 52 I did a master in art, and it's photography and videos.
So would you suggest for kids to like continue school after high school and just go to college?
To what?
So
Would you suggest kids to stay in school, like after high school?
As long as you can, yes, because knowledge is very important in life. Without knowledge, you're nothing. You have to make the most of it if you have the opportunity.
what's English?
England is very nice, very cultural, quite very modern now, cosmopolitan. You hardly hear English in the streets. Because of the borders open now, so all nationalities going there. It's nice, it's very cosmopolitan, very free.
What were your neighbors like in Brazil?
Hebrew,
What were your neighbors like?
my neighbors, were nice. I'm still in touch with my neighbors. I found a neighbor of mine, and I'm in touch. There was a lot of Jewish people living there and a lot of Arab people living there as well. So it was a mix. Wherever you went, there were Arab and Jews living together. Of a certain level, I mean, it depends, where you are. Yeah, it was nice. I wish he was like he is now, now that he was like it was. But unfortunately, we can't put the clock back. We can only look optimistically. Okay.
Well, thank you for coming in. We've been videotaping this, and we're gonna be putting together a blog that'll go along with our website. So when that's up, we'll
So
make
let's keep
sure,
speaking there then.
we'll make sure Daniel lets you know so that you can see. Because we're kind of, we've interviewed people who grew up all over the world, different places,
Yeah.
and talked about that kind of Jewish experience throughout the world. So then we'll be putting it all together on our blog.
Mhm.
So thanks for agreeing to be interviewed.